Winning cures everything. Now for your hosts, Gary and Chris.
Welcome in Monday, June the 29th. It's Winning Cures Everything. I'm Gary.
I'm Chris.
And lots to discuss from over the weekend. Good gracious, what a Monday it was. Chris with some exciting Pats news. So you know he's a little pumped up on a fantastic Monday. It's a little warm outside, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and get this thing rolling. WinningCuresEverything.com is the website. Make sure that you go check it out over there. All of our picks, previews, podcasts, videos, social media platforms, and whatnot. Everywhere that you can catch the show live is over there as well. If you're watching the show live, you already know, but it's Periscope, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. Make sure you are subscribed to whichever one of those you prefer. And if you would so kindly, hit that share button, hit that retweet button, whatever it is. Share that thing out with your friends. Tell everybody you know about it. The show, you can always find it on your podcast dial. Whichever podcast app you use, dive in there, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you leave a nice 5-star written review. We would definitely appreciate that. That supports the show more than you know. So we would appreciate it if you would head over and knock that out. Chris, let's go ahead and tackle the first pressing news of the day before we discuss any personal things that may have happened over the weekend. Emoni Bates is headed to Michigan State in 2022. It's a little strange, one, for him to announce a commitment this early, but this is supposed to be the greatest high school, prep basketball player since LeBron James, the best, prospect, since LeBron James. I find it a little strange because the odds are by the time we get to 2022, players will be able to go straight to the league again. And even if they're not, they are going to be able to sign, just like some of the kids did this year, Jalen Green, etc. They can sign with the G League, play a 25-game schedule, whatever it is, and develop for the league by league people, right? League coaches. Does this surprise you at all that he came out and made a commitment really 2 years early?
No, because that's the rules now. And if he goes to college, and look, I don't think there's anyone convincing themselves that if he can go straight to the league, that he's gonna do that, and that his commitment to Michigan State is irrelevant. Then doesn't matter. Yeah, he's made a commitment to a college because that's the school he's choosing to go to if he has to go to school for a year.
Yeah, I found it strange. Maybe it's just the timing of it. At 2 years early, he
knows where he wants to go.
Yeah, Jalen Green did say before he picked the G League that if he were going to go to college, that he would go to the University of Memphis. The commitment doesn't really mean anything now, but I guess it's nice to have that. If he does play college basketball, everybody knows he's going to play for Tom Izzo, and that says something about the school, and it can possibly help them recruit other athletes going forward. Hey, if this kid wants to go, that's what's going on, right? So,
but right now he's working under the rules that he has. He knows what the G League is. He knows what they pay.
Yeah,
he would rather go to Michigan State than the G League. I understand that. I'm okay with that.
Can't say that I blame him. So if you want to go and get the college experience for a year,
that's right. Absolutely. You get the college experience and you get coached by an unbelievable coach. Okay?
Hall of Famer, maybe.
That's right. A way better basketball coach than you're getting in the G League. All right. I assure you of that.
This is true.
So, I understand that. There is zero doubt in my mind that this is not him going back on his word if he chooses to go to pros immediately if that option becomes available.
Yeah.
Okay. He is committing to a college out of all of the colleges.
Yeah, that makes sense. I wasn't so much surprised that he committed to Michigan State. I was more so surprised that he's committing 2 years early.
He just knows where he wants to go. He knows what he wants to do. He seems very decisive. That's a grown-up thing.
Yes, it is.
That's a mature trait in somebody to be able to ask them, what would you like, and have them give you a direct answer.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I have wives. There's no doubt, and this is not just a female thing. This is a every person thing. Ask somebody where they would go to dinner. That is a 45-minute conversation.
Yeah.
And typically, at the end of that 45 minutes, there's a really good chance you don't have an answer.
That is entirely true. And
so
now this kid knows.
Adults don't know how to make decisions. If this kid knows how to be decisive in life, that's a very good trait to have.
Yes, it is. And it's very fitting for the type of players that Michigan State
I was just about to say, that seems exactly like the kind of player that goes to Michigan State.
You got that right. Yeah,
if
basketball-wise,
looking 100%. At all of your options, Michigan State's probably not going to be where you land. Yeah. If you want the tour and you want to be kissed and you want to be paraded out in front of everyone, Michigan State's probably not where you're going to choose. You're going to choose one of the other big blue blood areas, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if those are your ambitions and goals, they're different than what Izzo teaches at Michigan State.
If you want to go be developed, Michigan State is the place for you basketball-wise. That definitely makes sense. What'd you do over the weekend?
What did I do over the weekend?
Yeah, I'm just curious. We didn't talk much this weekend.
I cut grass and I worked.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I came over and got our backdrop to work on a little bit. But yeah, we had like a movie night on Saturday night. Lincoln is now in his toddler bed, right? He is about 2 months removed from his second birthday. He was climbing out of his crib, all that kind of mess. And we have not gotten very much sleep over the past 2 nights. Do you remember when your girls got their toddler beds? No, not at all.
I was not a very good father from the time they were born until the time they were about 5 years old.
Joseph jumps in, by the way, in comments.
Not an excellent father now, but
yes,
you're all the time.
Yes, he slept for 5 hours on Saturday night, and last night was a little bit better, but it is the constant going back and forth, trying to put him back in the bed. It's like this newfound freedom of, hey, I can get up whenever I want, and I don't have to crawl out of the bed. So Joseph jumps in on YouTube, said, don't give her too many options. Chicken, steak, go from there, or else you're going to end up somewhere you don't want to be. That's
so we play a game in our house where I pick 3 places, and they get to pick from those 3 places, and they don't get a veto. They don't get to add a 4th. They don't get to do that. These are the 3 places we're going. Pick which one, and in less than 10 minutes, we're in the car, and I'm just driving to a place. And if I don't have instructions, I pick one of those places, and if they don't like it, that's where I'm driving the car. That's where I'm getting out, and I'm going to go walk in and eat, and they can do whatever the hell they want.
Well, there you go. I think that's actually a really good rule.
I am an asshole. I understand that. I know that. I'm a very difficult person to live with, and I do things very decisively. You asked me about my kids and their baby beds. I don't know any of that. Listen, I worked and worked and worked, and I paid for things, and I made sure that they were safe and people were around who would well take care of them far better than I could take care of them.
Understandable. Yeah, we're dealing with the mess. Our buddy Scuzz from the Westlake Pirates said, it was 2 years ago that they switched over to toddler beds, and he hadn't had a decent night's sleep since. An uninterrupted night of sleep since. So I'm not looking forward to that. But we'll see how it goes. I mean, he did okay last night. He's in for his nap right now, and I've got the monitor right here. We are keeping an eye on things. So we'll see how it goes. His nap so far, he was exhausted. So I think we're good. Let's move into more sports talk here. Cam Newton to the Patriots. I know that you were pumped about this. Fill me in on exactly what the deal is and why this makes sense for both parties.
So pumped about it is just all of the upside, okay? There is a world in which Cam's injuries are to a point where he won't. The Liz Frank injury in the foot is a career ender for some people. It used to be. Modern medicine's just so good now. I don't know what used to be a career ender, and now guys can come back the next year and play. I don't know. I know this. The man's had like 3 or 4 different shoulder surgeries. He broke the ribs in the car accident a couple of years back. And everyone assumes, he takes so many hits. That's why he got into it with John LeCombs from Westlake. All that, and he's my favorite person in the world to argue with, but it drives me insane sometimes because he throws stuff out there because it sounds good, None of his injuries are because he gets hit a lot. I know that's hard to believe. Football's a violent sport. But he didn't tear his shoulder up getting hit. He didn't tear his foot up getting hit. He didn't tear his ribs up getting hit. Okay? These are just things that have happened to him over time, and his body is built to be able to absorb contact. If the foot injury is healthy, we think the shoulder injury should be way past healthy because it's been so long since he's hurt it. This is all upside, no downside. There is a world in which Cam doesn't make it through training camp and gets walking papers pretty quick, okay? Cam has never been anywhere where he's going to be coached as hard as he's going to be coached at the Patriots. We don't know how he's going to respond to that. I assume that he knows that going into it, but it's kind of one of those things where you know that might be coming up, but you don't really know what it's like. And so you say, oh, yeah, I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to go on this diet. And then you're about 4 days into the diet and think, I think I'm going to spend this $20 on pizza and screw this diet. I don't know how he's going to respond to the adversity he's going to get from the coaching staff. Now, if he is healthy and he responds well to the coaching, I am crazy excited to see Josh McDaniels in his Frankenstein brain with a quarterback like Cam. Remember, Josh is the guy that moved up in a draft, or maybe not moved up, but took number 1 with his first pick, Tim Tebow, while with the Broncos. He doesn't care about accuracy. He feels like he can design an offense to where if you can just hit a spot, receivers are good enough now, they can get the ball. Okay.
Right, that's it. Hey, he won a playoff game with Tim Tebow.
He won a playoff game, yeah, against your Steelers.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. Listen, this is all upside, no downside. The money aspect of it. So Richard Sherman was all upset and in arms and tweeted out, I can't believe we've got a former MVP and whatever playing for the league minimum. Like, this is a terrible blacklist on the league. I don't know that. The Patriots wouldn't have been able to sign him if it wasn't for the league minimum, because they have zero cap space this year. They are maxed out on cap space right now. Okay. They got none. And the way they were able to make this deal work is they made it all incentive based, which I didn't know this until recently, that every incentive, every bonus that you get goes towards the following year's cap, because there's no way to mathematically assume what they will get paid this year. Next year, they have a lot of cap space opening up. And so give him a very, very team-friendly, basically the league minimum, with pretty easy incentives. He doesn't have to win the Super Bowl, and he's going to make $7.5 million.
Yeah, that's it. So this is for Joseph Gomez, who jumped in and said the Chargers, Dolphins, or the Browns couldn't come up with $7 million. All of them are set, right? They think that they know what their quarterback room looks like. The problem
is I disagree with that. I think those teams should absolutely have made a decision. Like, it's a 1-year prove-it deal. Tua is not ready this year. So, and you're done rebuilding. You're not worried about draft picks for next year. You're not going to tank this year. You're going to compete and try to win. So the Dolphins would be the perfect place to bring him in. If he's healthy, then you have an unbelievable 1-year prove-it deal. You let him go somewhere else. Tua's ready. Take over the machine next year, and you just move on down the road. Sounds perfect. The Chargers are the exact same situation. If they're in love with Herbert, the idea of starting rookie quarterbacks immediately is done mainly because veteran quarterbacks cost so much.
Yeah,
I think we're about to see the old school rookie way of the quarterback riding the pine for a year or two come be the way we do football again, because you can get veteran quarterbacks so cheaply now.
Speaking of that, by the way, the Chargers, Tyrod Taylor is supposed to be their starter.
Yep.
And his contract for this year, his dead cap space, $2.5 million, his cap hit, $7.5 million. So,
but they've got cap room. They got cap room.
Yeah, they got cap room, but that's what I'm saying.
They could sign Cam and still be less than $20 million towards the cap for a quarterback.
Yeah.
So that's not a problem. Everyone in the league had cap room to sign Cam. There are two things that I think Cam wanted. Most importantly, I think he wanted a place to compete for a starting job. The idea of him, I thought the best place for him to go was the Steelers. Me and you have had this conversation before. Yes. But a lot of that is because I do think that if they made it an open competition, I think Ben's on the way down on his – you talk about a guy that's taking too many hits. I think if they really wanted to make it an open competition, I think he would win that starting job. And anyway, he wasn't going to do that because that was going to be just a clearly backup role. And I think he wanted to go to a place that could do that. And then the other thing is he didn't want to go to a complete rebuild. Okay.
Yeah, Dolphins,
so there are some teams,
Chargers, whatever.
But I don't think the Dolphins are a complete rebuild.
No, I don't think they're a complete rebuild, but they're still in the middle of it, right? They're an insanely young team.
In the middle of a rebuild is fine. You don't want to go to a team that are starting a rebuild. Jacksonville is beginning a rebuild right now. They have no draft picks. They have no assets. They have no cap room.
Yeah.
They're a team that you don't want to play for. But that's not a lot of the teams. Almost every other team, I would have taken a chance on him because he cost you nothing. And worst case scenario, you bring him into Buffalo, okay, and you let him compete with Josh Allen. And if Josh Allen beats him out, you got a backup quarterback that you're paying $7.5 million to.
Yeah.
And if he beats Josh out, why are you upset about this? The better player is starting. I've never understood guys saying we shouldn't bring somebody in. We've got our quarterback. We're set. If the other guy is better, then why are you set?
Yeah.
I just never the concept of being set doesn't make any sense to me in the world of sports. It just doesn't. It's all about competition. The best person should play. I don't understand this. We're the Browns and we're set with Baker. No. We can be set with Baker. That's fine. If Cam comes in and Cam beats him out,
then you're even more set.
And guess what? Now we're set at quarterback. And it's a 1-year prove-it deal. Cam plays great. He goes off next year and makes $30 million. Congratulations to him. Baker gets the starting role back. And if we're worried about psyches, if NFL quarterbacks are that fragile mentally, this is shit that should happen to golfers. It's not supposed to be things that happen to people who play collision sports, contact sports. You're supposed to be tough physically and mentally. And if you can't handle getting beat out for a job and then re-earning that job later, then you can't lead, because part of leading is being able to take an ass whooping and learn from it and get back up and be better.
100%. 100%. Neil Pennington jumped in on Facebook, wanted to make the joke. Cam made more money. He said Cam made more money when he played at Auburn.
He did make more money when he played at Auburn. The league minimum, there is no question on earth that he made more money than he played at Auburn.
Yeah, I think so. Damian Estrada.
1 year at Auburn paid more than 1 year in Boston.
Damian said, Patriots, he's not a starter, he's a backup. Now, here's the deal. It's an open competition there.
Bill Belichick will bring nobody in and promise them anything.
Yeah.
Other than an opportunity to work. I think they like Stidham. I think Cam, if Cam is healthy, I think Cam is better than Stidham.
And that's if he's healthy. So
if he's healthy, I think Cam is better than Stidham.
That kind of leads us into the other topic, which we're not going to spend a ton of time on because there's not a lot to it. Damian said, I don't know what's more stupid, the Patriots signing a diva or the Patriots getting a slap on the wrist for videoing the Bengals. The NFL is rigged.
A slap on the wrist for what? For something they did not videotape anybody, okay?
So hold on. Let me read the thing. National Football League has fined the New England Patriots $1.1 million and stripped a third-round selection in the 2021 NFL Draft as penalties for the team improperly filming the Cincinnati Bengals sideline during a game last December.
By the team, meaning an individual in a Patriots shirt?
Yeah, pretty much.
Because he wasn't an employee of the Patriots, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Just making sure.
It says
just some dude that
this
was
is what it says.
videotaping.
The Patriots television crew will also not be allowed to shoot any games this upcoming season, and club officials will also be required to undergo training on the NFL's operational and game policies. David Mondillo, a member of that television crew, is banned from NFL facilities until further notice. He has already been fired by the Patriots after the league began its inquiry into the matter. The filming happened on December 8th when the Bengals were in Cleveland to play the Browns. At the time, the Patriots insisted the filming had nothing to do with football operations or scouting, and instead were generating content for their web series, Do Your Jobs.
So let me ask you a question, honest question. We live in a world in which people call out their former employers at the drop of a hat, correct? If this guy was fired for this and the Patriots asked him to do it, do you not think they would immediately publicly be like, I was wrongfully fired, have a lawsuit pending, and have these guys tied up in court or trying to pay them off to go away if they were instructed to say, do this thing?
I agree with you. Like I think
I get that everyone likes to make all the Patriot cheating jokes, but if you look at all of their scandals, every one of their scandals are so much bullshit. It's not fathomable to go through and explain all of it. But because they have so many that we just assume all these things happen and we forget we live in the world of 2020. This happened in 2019. And this guy did this thing. This guy got fired. If you think that guy was not told to do said thing, then they would not have fired him. They would have employed him somewhere else, but kept him on the payrolls to keep his mouth shut.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, he acted completely on his own. Nobody is worried about the Bengals-Browns game. I assure you of that.
Damian jumped in and said Goodell is rigging the game for the Patriots. I think it's kind of the other way around. If Goodell was rigging this, he would have just made it go away. I mean, good gracious.
Goodell hates the Patriots more than anyone else, but he's trying to help them. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts. Like the back and forth, about the Patriots and referees and et cetera. Joseph jumps in and said, "Why was he shooting during the walkthroughs?"
I don't know why. No one knows why. But we know this. As soon as he was fired, if he was told to do those things, he would have immediately said, "Those sons of bitches told me to do it." And if he had any documentation whatsoever of it, he would have exposed him and called him out on it.
Yeah.
And
especially after he got fired.
A wrongful termination lawsuit, and he would have gotten paid.
But he didn't, and here we are.
But he didn't do any of those things. You know why? Because nobody told him to do it.
Yeah. Now, you're right. You are right. All right. So, with that said, let's get off the NFL for just a minute. Let's talk about our great state of Mississippi here. And I can proudly say that right now. I don't know that I could have said that before, but I'm a little proud right now. The state legislature in the state of Mississippi voted to change the state flag, and neither you nor myself thought that it was going to happen because we've been here for too long and we've seen this crap happen for too long.
And I know the people involved in the politics of it. I know the people who run our state, and I don't trust them to ever make a good decision because history says they've never made a good decision. Yeah,
it's really strange to see. However, I am glad. You know, we talked last week.
Listen, I love being wrong. When it comes to stuff like this, I would love to be more wrong more often.
Yes, 100%.
Because I just don't believe in people half the time.
It's strange. They needed 2/3 of the vote in the House, and then they needed the same in the Senate.
Yeah.
And they got both of them. So right now they are going to vote on a new flag. But the vote will not be between the old flag and a new flag. The vote will be
two options, right?
Well, it will be one option to start with. It is, do you like this flag or not?
Okay, I thought they were going to come up with two and let everybody pick between the two.
They're coming up with one, and it is. They have said this. One of their biggest things was it's going to have "In God We Trust" on it.
I understand that's the only thing. That is a deal breaker. That is a compromise, and that's a compromise I'm willing to make.
Yes.
Not a religious guy. That is a compromise I'm willing to make.
That's another thing that I don't feel like hurts anybody really.
Doesn't hurt anybody at all. It doesn't hurt anybody at all. If you are an atheist or a non-believer, I think you can see that and not matter at all. It's on your $20 bill in your wallet, and we're all just fine.
Yes.
I'll take all the $20 bills and $100 bills with "In God We Trust" on them if you're offended by it. I will gladly take them all off your hands.
We'll collect all of them.
Ship them my way. I am a cash man.
Jumping back to the Patriots conversation real quick, Damian said, funny how Robert Kraft isn't serving his sentence for being at an illegal massage parlor. Just saying, there is no sentence. That's...
What would you like? I'm very curious about this. Honest question. Somebody who paid a masseuse for a happy ending, what do you think the appropriate sentence is for that?
I would love to know the answer. Joseph jumped in and said, I'm sure the Patriots would document them asking him to cheat. For them, if they did it, best case, it would have been he said, she said. But
in a world in which he said, she said goes a long way. I mean, Tom Brady served 4 games because of he said, she said. We have no proof whatsoever of anything. It was just, we believe this.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. All right, so coming back in, the flag change, this is a big deal, right?
Yes.
Kylan Hill.
I think this is, so I'm not big on symbolic gestures, okay? Like pulling Gone with the Wind off of your platform doesn't help black people. All right. Like it doesn't, I don't like symbolic change rarely. Okay. Because it doesn't actually do anything. This is something I absolutely believe does something for our state, for the men and women and the kids that grew up in this state that have to see the winds of change are happening in Mississippi finally.
And they are pulling the flag right now. Like it
got pulled Sunday.
It got pulled from the state capitol, got pulled from all the other capitol buildings, etc. Yeah. They are no longer flying that flag. Yeah. And the role that sports played in this is a pretty big deal. I mean,
we cover this simply because A, it's our state, and B, sports made this happen.
Yes. Kylan Hill coming out on Twitter.
I fully believe Kylan Hill made this happen. I don't think this was an NCAA or an SEC thing. I think one man found his voice.
Yeah, no, it wasn't just him. Obviously, I think it started the movement, right? He started it.
Listen, a lot of people have done a lot of good, but somebody starts things. He started this one.
Yes, he did. He most certainly did, and it is a massive, massive deal. He started this. The NCAA and the SEC coming out saying they won't be hosting events here. Look, Mississippi is not one of the wealthiest states in the union. It's just not.
We're the poorest state in the union, by the way.
Exactly. So
we are DFL in that.
And the state cannot afford to have businesses refuse to come in and work here, have, events coming to the state. They need these things. So it was a smart decision, both business-wise and just from a human decency perspective.
Just a human moral thing. It's just right. There's no wrong time to do the right thing. We did the right thing. It happened. I can't believe it. I'm very glad. And I want college football right now so bad because I want to watch Kylan Hill play.
I agree with you.
I have talked to my friend, and I want fans in the stands because I want to go.
I want to see the reaction to him.
I have talked to 2 and 3 different friends who are season ticket holders at state, and I've told them, you pick a game, anything you need to pay for, food, gas, anything to get us there and back, and my ticket, I'll pay for it. I'll gladly treat everybody. I want to go to a game in Starkville this year. I want to watch this young man play.
Yes. Matt Fletcher jumped in. Fletchy said Kylan didn't start it. He finished it. It started with the state schools pulling the flag back in 2015.
Well, okay, that's true, but it just died since then. I mean, nobody's really.
It 100% did. I mean,
since then. I mean,
and this was the tipping point, right? This was what finally pushed it over the edge, and he started the most recent movement, which in turn ended with Saturday legislation to change the state flag, which we never thought would happen, especially with the governor coming out just a week and a half ago saying, we already voted on this 20 years ago. We're not changing it. So the fact that we went that quickly is both promising and I'm just happy. I'm happy to see it. So we'll move on from that.
I'll take the wins. Getting wins in this stuff is too hard. I'm not going to complain.
Let's see. Damian jumped back in. He said, this shows that the NFL is rigged. Tom Brady gets 4-game suspension for Deflategate, but Kaepernick gets suspended for a lifetime for just taking a knee.
I can't have a conversation with somebody who's not reasonable.
I don't think it's the same thing.
Well, you don't think it's the same thing. It's not the same thing, Gary.
Yeah, it's not at all. Like I don't know. Off of that, let's move into Under Armour making some news over the weekend, doing something that I have never seen before. Under Armour had what was the numbers? 15-year, $280 million contract with UCLA. It was the richest contract between a school and an apparel company in the history of college sports. Just massive numbers. And they had it since 2015. And apparently, somewhere in that contract, if Under Armour felt like they were not getting the market value, if they were not getting the exposure that they felt like was worth that contract, there is a clause that allows them to pull out of the deal. So Under Armour exercised that rule in the contract and pulled out of the $280 million contract. I have never seen an apparel company come out and say that they were not getting their money's worth. And this goes to show exactly how far UCLA has fallen, both in football and basketball. At this point, what do you do? I mean, it's really strange to see. I'm sure that there are
UCLA, or what do you do
if you're UCLA? Under Armour's saving money, and they're going to go find somebody else to wear their stuff, right? They've got Notre Dame, they got Auburn, they got obviously Maryland is the bell cow for them because the owner went to Maryland. It's the same thing with Phil Knight in Oregon, right? But if you're UCLA, you got a football season coming up. What happens? I'm so confused by that because nobody has
they'll find another deal between now and then. They're just not going to get anywhere close to the money because everyone has seen if Under Armour pulled out is because they weren't getting their money's worth. Let's do some math and see what do we think the money really is worth.
This is a massive
They're just going to get a bad deal. They're going to get a deal that's bad. Before for this, they got a great deal. And I think Under Armour probably overpaid.
100%.
Simply for the fact that they want it to be in LA. This is one of those things where I've just never understood overpaying to be in LA. Teams don't like college sports because of the city they live in. They like them because of the school they are.
Well, and where they went to school, right? It's typically undergrads and whatever.
Los Angeles, your school being in Los Angeles doesn't give you anything exceptional. You might get a little bump from that, but it ain't a great bump. I'm willing to bet volume that you think people out there think it's worth.
I'm willing to bet that Auburn and Notre Dame are the two best contracts that they have, and they were 100%. Nothing close.
100%.
Yeah, they were nothing close to the UCLA deal. The contract never made sense from the beginning. Now, it would make sense if UCLA was a powerhouse in something.
Anything.
And instead, they're not that good at anything. So UCLA has had a rough go of it here lately with the football players saying that they don't trust the program, and basketball, just having to replace another coach. It's really amazing to me. One, I've never seen this before ever. And two, UCLA is in deep, deep water because they were already having financial trouble. If they end up having to fire Chip Kelly after this year, which more than likely not going to, regardless of the outcome. It was looking that way.
They're not going to just because I think it's just not wise to do so.
It's definitely not wise. But
and I don't know that a new coach is going to come in and fix this. They don't have coaching problems. They keep trying new coaches over and over and over again. They got a problem with young people not wanting to come to their school.
Yes. It's really strange.
There's no unless you go out and get Cal Perry. He's the only man I know that it doesn't matter where he coaches. These kids love him and want to come play for him. Other than that, they are going to these schools. Now, some of these coaches have a lot of clout, and they've been there for a long time, and they're great, but those are establishments, okay? Yeah. And those establishments have been great for a long time. UCLA used to be that, and when they fell off, man, it's like trying to put a train back on the tracks, man. This is not easy, and you can't just hire the next hot young coach and think it's going to come tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I agree.
I would let Chip run this contract out. I'm not paying two coaches at all. I'm not writing a second check to anybody right now.
No,
because
not the slightest.
The coaching that's going to fix it.
No, it is the programs themselves. Damian jumped in.
It's a gorgeous school.
Yes.
And it's an incredible school. I can't figure out for the life of me why they suck. But they suck at everything.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, it's at least all of the revenue sports, right? The revenue sports are what they're bad at. Those are the ones that
matter. They have a great gymnastics group. I don't know anything about. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I'm
an asshole. I don't know anything about it.
They are a great gymnastics group, but it's not a revenue sport.
Lacrosse. My bad.
It's not a revenue sport. That's the problem. It doesn't bring in the money. Damian said UCLA football is Duke football, and I think that's kind of close to right, except that I think Duke has been more successful as of late.
Well, Duke has been more successful in the short term. I don't know that long term.
No, not long term. No, not long term. UCLA used to be somewhat of a
issue,
powerhouse.
though, is Duke is a smart kid private school. UCLA football is a state school.
Yes.
Like state schools should be better than private schools.
They absolutely should.
Unless you're a USC private school, because it's like a fake private school. It's just a private school for cool people, but really they have the dumbed down grades so everybody can get in like all the state schools do.
Yeah.
Like, they're not Vanderbilt and Duke kicking people out because they can't make the grades. They're not Notre Dame and Stanford saying, sorry, you can't have a 12 on your ACT and still get in. Like, UCLA and USC should be pulling the same quality kids.
Yes, they should.
I can't explain for the life of me why they're so bad.
Let's jump off of that, and we'll close out today's show talking some NBA. And I was a little excited over the weekend. I'll admit that. The NBA comeback schedule was released. Our Memphis Grizzlies got exactly one of their 8 games that will be shown on national TV in primetime. Wasn't thrilled about that. But,
no.
But Zion Williamson, he got 5 games. The Portland Trailblazers got 5 games on national television. It just sucks, right? Like, apparently nobody wants to watch the Grizzlies with their incredible young trifecta that they've got. But
when they will once playoff starts, they'll realize we missed out on this young team.
Yes.
I think you're a lot of fun. They're too young. They're not going to make a run, but they're exciting to watch. They're not going to be boring.
Oh, you have 100% got that right. So the schedule that remains, the first matchups that we will get to see are the Jazz against the Pelicans, and that'll be on TNT on July 30th. And then you'll have the Clippers and the Lakers on TNT the same night. So you will have back-to-back games at 5:30 p.m. Central and 8 p.m. Central. And from there, you're going to have basketball all day, every day going forward. And it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun, right? So you're going to have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's just going to go on and on and on. And I'm pumped about it. Like, I cannot wait for this.
I'm excited to have basketball back. I'm ready.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. Everybody, of course, playing only teams that are down in Orlando. Of course, that makes sense. But this is a lot of fun. I think that I like this setup a lot. I mean, I think it's going to be insanely entertaining to watch. Yeah.
We were thrust in a terrible situation with COVID. Nobody knew how to respond, and this is the byproduct of that. Okay, we're getting something. It's different, but I'm excited, and I'm not going to be Debbie Downer right now. I'm not afraid to be that. I'm not that now. I'm glad to have it back, and I'm not going to bitch about how it happened. I wish we could get better games at night. I've got a funky work schedule. I think I'll be able to manipulate my days to where I can at least catch most of the games.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. And
Justin Miller jumped in, by the way, and wanted to tell you Pats are the greatest team ever. Easy Super Bowl this year.
I don't know about that, Justin, but
Damian said Adam Silver is dumb if he's really thinking about finishing the season in Florida while they are on lockdown. He needs to cancel the season or relocate. Let me go ahead and tackle this one for Damian. This is it. Now, we talked about how dumb it was when everything was reopening and it looked like everybody was just going to be out doing whatever, right? We talked about that and how they just needed to have the games in their home arenas, whatever. Chris and I can admit when we are wrong in this situation. The NBA looks like the geniuses here. If you are in lockdown, if you are in a bubble, in quarantine, that is the absolute best place for them to finish the season. They've got so many restrictions and protocols set up. People from the outside are not going to be able to just come in.
Because Florida is bad and they are in the state of Florida, it's not magically going to impermeate their hotel. Okay.
Yeah. The hotel is on lockdown.
With it in, then they are fine.
Yeah. And everybody before they come in has to be tested. And everybody once they are in will continue to be tested regularly.
They're not. Once they're in, and there's no leaving.
No, there's no leaving. Yeah, you get fined, you get quarantined for 2 weeks.
Mike Wilbon,
this
is media people, this is cameramen, this is everybody. Mike Wilbon was talking on Tony Kornheiser's show the other day in this podcast, talking about how I'm not going. Like, ESPN tried to send me. It was like, once I'm there for 3 months and I can't leave. Nope.
Yeah, no chance.
I'll watch all the games and I'll talk about them still, but I'm not covering them in person.
Well, and on top of that, all of the press conferences and all that are all going to be done through Zoom. So
yeah, it's all virtual.
Why do you need to be there? Like
media people were still trying, companies were still wanting their people there because they feel like they can get access to these guys. But
yeah, like you're 100%.
I would say this: a couple of weeks into these dudes hanging out with the same people over and over again, if you were like the one media guy there, I bet you could get some good stories. Because yes. I'm going to bet they're going to get sick of talking to who they're talking to, and somebody will pony up to the bar next to you.
Yeah, no, you're right. Damian jumped back in and said, how is this smart if Florida COVID cases are going up? Because exactly what we just said.
They're in the state of Florida in a bubble that has been quarantined and cleaned and heavily monitored. So they're not at the beach. They're not in all these towns where COVID's going on.
Yeah, they're not going out to the bars with random people.
That's why we call it a bubble.
Yeah, everybody that comes into this location is tested, and once you're in, you don't get out. That's what this is. So I don't think this is dumb at all.
It is a bad thing. It is a scary thing. It is not magical.
Yeah, it's the same as any other virus. You can't catch it if it's not around.
It can't go from the beach to your bubble.
Yeah, it's airborne, but it don't travel that far. You know, like it's crazy. But I am excited about it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. This is having a schedule set up like this, where the games are. Here, I'll give you a quick rundown of what the first Friday looks like, okay? And not every team is playing every day. You know, typically teams are getting a day off in between. But you've got a game at 1:30, 2 of them at 3 p.m., 1 at 5:30, 1 at 7, and 1 at 8. And then the next day on Saturday, you got 1 at 12, 2:30, 5, 6, 7:30. On Sunday, you've got 1 at 1, 2:30, 3, 5 p.m., 7:30, 8 p.m. You're going to get to watch a lot of basketball. And it is going to be a whole lot of fun. Like, I'm excited about this. You're going to get to catch the end of these games as they're going. I mean, it's exciting. This is great. Damian said, plus, isn't there a sandstorm coming to the country? Sandstorm is already here. It's really not bad. Like, it was already in Nashville. It came through. It was dust from the Saharan desert. And it came in. It kind of coated Nashville a little bit. It's moving up a little bit. It's already out of Florida. Like, we're good. So this is not nearly the thing that everybody – it's kind of the murder hornets thing. Everybody freaks out, and then all of a sudden it's gone and nothing really happened. Same thing. Hey. You guys are killing me today. Killing me. Damian, we love you, brother. Don't go anywhere. We love you. All right, Chris, is there anything else that popped up that we need to hit on?
That's it.
That is it. Let's get out of here. Of course, winningcureseverything.com is the website. Make sure you go check it out. We will have more news about our SBR stuff. We are joining up with Sportsbook Review. We will be doing their college football content for the season, so you can go check them out, sportsbookreview.com. And we'll have more as we go along. We're getting into July. We're getting ready for team previews. We're getting ready for all of that fun stuff. College football, NFL, we are ready to rock and roll. So go check out our website, winningcureseverything.com. Make sure you're subscribed everywhere you need to be subscribed. Leave a nice review on the podcast and tell all your people about the show. We love you for coming in, all you guys in the chat. Keep doing it. In the meantime, take care of yourself. Take care of each other. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for checking out Winning Cures Everything. If you want to keep up with us, hit subscribe on YouTube or your favorite podcast app. Visit the website at winningcureseverything.com, or you can like us on Facebook or follow us at Winning Cures, at Gary WCE, or at Chris B. Giannini on Twitter. Share out the show, leave a nice review, and make sure to comment and